Hello, I'm Liang, a PhD student in Media and Art Technology at Qualitative University of London. Today, I'm going to introduce our paper, Neat Stretch Sensor Placement for Body Movement Sensing. Motion capture technology is widely used in movement-related human-computer interaction, especially in digital arts, such as digital dance performance. Our interest is in the design of a textile-based tangible system for dance performance. In this paper, we present a neat stretch sensor-based dance leotard design to evaluate the locations where the sensors could best capture the movement on the body. There are two studies undertaken, an expert interviews and sensor placement study. First study, expert interviews, is to gather target users' requirements to determine the system requirements, including what dancer's actions should be sensed and what part of the body should be tracked while dancing. Then, building on the result of the interviews, we did a sensor placement study. We designed a dance leotard with sensor groupings to examine where to place the sensors. To gather target users' ideas, requirements, and expectations of various aspects of digital dance performance, we conducted a qualitative interview study with 10 professional dancers, choreographers, and technologists. Most of our participants had backgrounds in multiple relevant areas. The table 1 shows the background of interviewees. And the interviews were semi-structured with 2 sets of open questions, one for the interviewees with dance background, and another one is for the technologists. For interviewees who had experience with both dance and technology background, we included all the interview questions for them. The interviews were carried out either in person or online, and each lasting between 45 to 90 minutes, and were video recorded. Then the video data was transcribed manually and analyzed using thematic analysis with the software MaxQDA. From the result of the interviews, we found that technologists all had a similar background in researching E-textiles within the field of human-computer interaction. They shared their experience of working with dancers, designing for the body, and development of motion-related projects. The most challenging aspects they found in designing a textile sensing system is the sensor's robustness and consistent output. All the dancers and choreographer interviewees works in contemporary dance or modern dance. They described this dance style as incorporating many other dance styles and allows for more freedom in the interpretation of the movements. The dance leotard is the most commonly worn clothing for dancers. It not only needs to fit the body perfectly, but it also allows for full range of motion without restriction. And dancers and choreographers prefer long sleeves and dark colors in rehearsal. The center of the body was mentioned many times, as dancers treat the center of the body as to where all the movements comes from. The torso is clearly identified as the preferred location in order to track the dancer's movement. Building on the result of the interviews, we designed a leotard with neat stretch sensors to measure torso movements. The leotard is used to address the reliability and robustness concerns that the technologists expressed. In particular, we examine how the performance of the stretch sensor measuring body movements is affected by the location of those sensors on the body. For the dance leotard design, we made a long-sleeve leotard using black Euro jersey fabric. The garment is made for women who wear UK size 8, but it actually fits from size 6 to 12, as the fabric itself is very stretchy. And we placed multiple sets of sensors close to each other to allow for a comparison. For the construction of the sensor, we choose to use a commercially produced silver-plated conductive knit fabric, technique text P130B, as it has been found to be suitable for small-scale movements. Then the sensors were bonded to the black Euro jersey fabric. This picture shows groups of sensors placed around the torso. There are a group of long sensors along the spine are designed to capture the movement for the spine. And there are 4 groups of 2 sensors across to each other around the waist is aimed to capture twisting from 2 directions. In the center front, a long sensor covers the front zipper and secures in place at the neck using a press-on steps. Also, there are 4 groups of short sensors placed on each side of the front chest and upper back to capture the movement of the upper torso. As for the method of movement capture, we chose a set of movements that dancers and choreographers mentioned in the interviews as the basic movement focusing on the torso. A set of 6 movements were captured all while standing. They are roll down, lean back, side bend, C-curve, back arch, and waist twist. Each movement was repeated 30 times by 10 female participants, and we used the Vicon motion capture system to measure the changes in the leotard and the underlying body shape. We placed the reflective markers along the stretch muscles to get the approximate changes in length that occurred throughout the movement. We used an Arduino-based microcontroller to measure the sensor's electrical resistance, and the Vicon blade software recorded each marker's positions in the X, Y, and Z axis. And we used 120 Hz sample rate for the data collection. The features on the right shows the connected sensors and reflective marker setup for each movement section. The connected sensors showing in the green. The red dot are reflective marker sets, and the red line shows the approximate length and changes of the target part of the torso. We dividing each cycle of the movement into a stretching and relaxation portion. Then the correlation coefficient is calculated between each sensor's resistance and the length of the markers for that part of the cycle. Then we take the median of the correlation coefficient across the 30 cycles for either the stretching or relaxation portion. As for the data analysis, we're treating the Vicon data as the ground truth body position data. The analysis look at how well the electrical resistance of the stretch sensor correlate with the Vicon's capture of the movement of the body. The distance between each reflective markers along the body are calculated and summed for each movement. The changes in these lengths are treated as the approximate stretch of the body. Then we compare the correlation coefficient between the length of the markers and the electrical resistance of the sensors to examine the effectiveness of the sensors for measuring the body movements. Here, the table shows the performance of each group of sensors in corresponding movement section. We highlighted the sensors performed the best in each movement. From the result, we found the sensors which are constantly under tension perform better and has higher success rate. The lower back and the chest are not an ideal place for placing sensors due to the garment fitting problem. The dance leotard design was found to capture the movements of standing lean back and standing waist twist the best. In conclusion, we did 2 studies look at how E-textile tangible interface could be improved for motion sensing in live dance performance. A set of interviews gathered the feedback from technologists and the system requirements from the dancers and choreographers. We made a dance leotard with groupings of sensors to capture a set of movements around the torso. We found the placement on the body and the fit of the garment plays a key role in the sensor's performance. We found only the stretched sensors that were under constant tension and stretched more than 30% will successfully capture the movement. However, the studies only examined isolated groups of sensors for a particular corresponding movement. The further work would be combining groups of sensors and investigating more advanced movements in the contemporary dance. Thanks for your listening.